Hey, everybody. It's Damone Seraphin here with Black Broadway Men, and we are excited to bring to you another episode of the Black Broadway Men Spotlight Series, where we lift and we laud and we love on the luminaries in our community. Listen, if you've been enjoying these episodes, then go ahead and drop us a line. You can drop us a line at blackbroadwaymen.org, and there you can get all of the information and details concerning Black Broadway Men, especially our Spotlight series. We want to jump right in because our guest today, man, is quite incredible. I have been connected in a tangential way to this brother for years. And so this time means so much to me. So I want to jump right in with the one and the only, the inimitable T.C. Carson. What up, T.C.?
What's happening, brother? Thank you for having me.
Oh man! Before we jumped on air, I was saying to TC how much this time means to me because I grew up in Chicago and grew up at the Goodman Theater. I've done about 9 shows there, and one of the shows we did there was the Gospel at Colonus, and TC was in that production. I was in the ensemble, in the choir. Watching this man be brilliant every night. I was but a child. He was but a child. But life has been good to us. And so I'm excited to know what's up with TC Carson. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, a lot of things are happening. You know, keeping busy, working on my craft, working on my art, and working to help my community move forward.
Yeah. The arts is a great way to do that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. TC, how long have you been in this game? Can you tell us where it all started for you?
I started my first, and he's back. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay.
TC got a neighbor who might be a little rowdy and noisy, you all, but that's okay. We can't hear him, so if we do, we'll take a pause and go on. But we can't hear him. So take us back to where it began, TC.
In grade school, the first time I sang on stage was in 4th grade. My teacher, Mr. Hoffenberg, who I think is a judge in Illinois right now, if he's with us. But he was a young man at the time, and he was a very progressive teacher. And he had us sing at the assembly. And we sang Aquarius from the play Hair.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to lead the song at the end. All of Let's Let the Sunshine part, all of that. And that was the first time I ever got applause for doing that.
Wow.
And it was something that really stuck. I was like, oh, wow. And from that point on, I was doing I had bands in grade school. I had bands in high school, college. In high school, we had a theater group. We moved out to the suburbs, kind of suburbs in Chicago, Summit, Argo, Illinois. And and I went to Argo High School. And we had a Black theater group called the Black Thespians of Argo. And we wrote our own plays, and we toured high schools and colleges with the work that we did. So that's kind of what really solidified me wanting to do what I do.
And so did you hit a lot of the theaters in Chicago? I know the Goodman was the theater that you worked at. What are some of the other theaters that kind of jumped you into this?
Well, the music pushed me into musical theater. So Drury Lane, Light, those places. I did several shows at those places. Then Victory Gardens. I think that's about it. I can't remember. And Free Street Theater. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember Free Street.
Free Street Theater really helped me hone my craft and gave me a sense of discipline as well.
Yeah. Chicago is a great city. There's so many of our in our community who we've spent time with on the Spotlight series that have come out of Chicago. Alton, White, Darius, DeHaas.
Oh, two really good friends of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, Kingsley Legs.
You
Uh,
named all my boys. What's up?
listen, I grew up following you all. So listen, you all were like the prototype for me. And so you all definitely blazed the trail in the city. And so I'm like I'll always say to you, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the path that you laid for me, because I definitely followed it. You spent time doing musicals, you spent time doing theater, but we also know that you blew up in film and TV. What was that? What was that first moment for you where you moved from or included that genre into your life?
Well, the thing we got the Emmy for was Fast Break to Glory, which was a Chicago-based TV movie that was based on going to the basketball team going to the Indiana State championships. And there you can hear that though, can't you?
No,
You can't hear that?
no.
Why? Okay.
So
Because
talk
that,
about that. You got your first jump out. You got an Emmy.
yeah, yeah. We got an ensemble Emmy
Yep.
for that particular production. And that was my first television film gig. And then the next one was Living Large. And that came about, interestingly enough, while we were doing Gospel at Colonus.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to go to LA to do some prosthetic work for the film.
Yeah.
And they weren't not going to let me out to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you see the opportunity for me and you're gonna make me stay here. It's like, okay, cool. So I called in sick
Yep.
and I went to LA.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the guy that was understudying me was also understudying the lead, and the lead got sick.
Yeah.
And so they were asking me to come back, and I was in the middle of, you know,
It's interesting. It's interesting how these companies try to stand in the way.
well, you have to go where if God puts a vision in your head for your life,
Mm,
you must honor that vision. And anybody who does not honor that, you cannot allow them to get you off your path, as hard
absolutely.
cold as it may be. Because
I
that
love that.
effectively ended a lot of work for me in Chicago.
Sure. I love that though. I want you to spend some time in that, because I think a lot of times in this industry in our lives, we kind of chase things or fall into spaces that are not in alignment with the vision that God has for our lives and the gifts that He's given us. Can you just kind of hang out there for a moment and tell us what that feels like, what that looks like, what that looked like for you? Because you have to make some choices.
Well, it's not easy. You know, you lose friends, you lose jobs, um, because nobody really understands your journey but you, and nobody hears the things you hear but you, because he only speaks them to you.
Yeah.
So for you not to honor well, we grow up not listening. We're taught not to listen. Like you don't listen to that voice. You do this. You don't, you know. And I know from experience, every time I don't listen to that voice, it doesn't really work out the way I want it to work out.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of times that voice is telling me things that I don't really want to do or want to hear. But if I hear it more than once, then I go, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
We'll do that. It's
Yeah.
just easy. It's
Yeah.
easy.
Don't fight it. Don't kick against the brick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such an important lesson for us to know, journeying through this industry for sure, but through our lives. Uh, that that folks will not always get the vision that God or the universe places in your heart and in your belly. And they may not understand the urge to follow that vision beyond anybody's own vision for your life.
Mhm.
The Goodman had a vision for their production and their life in that space, but God's vision is so much bigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and to be bold to stand on that vision and trust that vision.
And to
Uh,
know, oh, things may not work. Things will work out. They just may not work out within your time, the
mhm.
time to. So you can't you can't drop the vision just because it doesn't happen when you want it to.
Mm.
You
Ooh,
have
say that again.
you can't drop it just because it was supposed to happen last week, so I'm not doing that anymore. No, you can't really do that. Not if it's really your vision, if it was really meant for you, you have to do everything you need to do to make it happen. It's not going to just happen. You have to do the thing you need to do to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's powerful. I remember when that film came out. I remember all of those things happening. Uh, but I also
Yes,
remember
you were there. You
well, I was in that choir stand. Stop. Do not. What? Who's there? Johnny Lee Davenport. Yeah.
Oh, can I take it aside? One
Yeah.
aside with the show, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Robert Earl fell asleep?
Do you remember when he started Act Two with Act One?
The
Yeah.
nicest man, the the nicest guy. But I'm telling you,
Yes.
when she looked at him and went, "Father,"
Nothing.
and Johnny Lee came out from the side, did the little Baptist thing,
Yep.
tapped him, said, "You here? You know where you at?"
Yep.
Okay. He put the finger up and walked back.
It went right back on off. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember like it was yesterday.
Oh, that was a good
Uh,
production. That was a
it
good
was a
production.
wild production. That show, TCS, followed me everywhere. I went from doing the ensemble to playing singer Oedipus
Oh wow.
to working with Bob and Lee on a new production. I was running a theater in DC,
Mhm.
and we did a new production there. And quiet as it's kept. There's some rumblings on some things. So it's that show that keeps following us,
Okay.
following me. But your performance in that show, I'll never forget that first Father. You standing at the top of those stairs. I said, "Oh, he
They
bringing
gave
the
me drama.
drama."
They gave me drama. Come on, they gave me smoke. They gave me a staircase. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. What you gonna do? But show up.
Leather jackets and coats and come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. I loved every moment of it. But I also love celebrating you when that film came out. When
Mm,
that film came out, I remember going, "Yo, he's doing it. He's doing it." And from that dude sitting in the choir stand, again, looking at you, it really reaffirmed the vision that God gave me.
nice. Thank you.
It
Thank
really did. It really did. You, Alton, Darius, you all were the ones that literally showed us, yeah, we can do it. We can do it, and we don't always have to yield. Well, as we talking real, we don't have to yield to the white man's desire for our gifts and our talents. They see them for what they need at that moment.
you.
But God, and I love how you said it. God gives us a much deeper, longer vision beyond this moment, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and so you
Choose to see it if we choose to see
you
it,
choose to see it. Yeah,
because we all have discernment. So,
yeah,
give us discernment. So you choose to listen or not.
yeah. And you listen.
I do my best. I'm listening better now than I
Yeah.
was back then.
Tell me about that.
Um,
Youth.
experiences.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Experiences. I'm coming off of a 10-year stint where it was really not good. Um, Lost pretty much everything. House, relationships, jobs, and uh, at a point now where I have more control over the things I want to do, and I'm able to do the things that I like to do. So I think that comes from listening and trusting what you're hearing
Yeah.
and
You-
getting
you-
rid of generational trauma and life trauma.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
tell you, like the best thing I did during this time period was get a therapist.
Oh, say that again.
Very best thing I got. I would not be here today without her. And I know
Wow.
that because I was on the real, I was in a space where I could just check out of here. I didn't care.
Wow. It happens like that, doesn't it? TC, you came out of Chicago, living large. You're starting on stages in Chicago, living large. Then you have this real big success um, with this incredible TV show. Um, and then there's a period. There's a moment where you're riding high, and then there's a moment when you're in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us, and we'll hit all the things, but you're rolling up on these important lessons for us already. How do you handle the valley after being on the mountaintop?
A couple of things. You have to remember why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And we don't do it to be famous. A lot of people do. They want to be famous. That's why they do they do anything to get that. But an artist really does it for the joy of doing the art. And if sometimes we lose that, which puts us in a different place. So in the valleys is the time to lean really into your art. Use what that is and put it in your art. Take it and make something great with it. And find somebody to talk to. Like I said, my therapist was really after my first session, she looked at me. I was like, "What?" She said, "You're supposed to be exactly where you are. After all of that, in 2 years, yeah, you're supposed to be exactly where you are." She said, "But you're gonna be okay."
Yeah.
Sure.
Tell us what. So in that valley space, what are the things that you did, even in terms of creation? What sustained you? What made you say today's not going to be the day I'm going to turn it all off?
Um, I had a routine. Even when nothing was happening, I didn't just sit. I had a routine. Get up, breakfast, go work out, take a walk on the beach, come back home, eat lunch, make business phone calls, and then think about what music you want to do.
Mm,
See if you can find a different take on, and then go to bed and
yeah,
get up. You got to put yourself on some kind of schedule or you'll spiral out into the negative space. But if you keep your mind busy, keep doing things that can help you. Working out was a help. That beach, walking on the beach was a help for me. It may not work that way for everybody, but the water really does help.
yeah,
So just finding the things that resonate with your body that can help you. If you can't keep going up, at least you won't. If you stay neutral, it's easier to rise
mm-hmm.
when you're at a deficit to go up. So if you can keep yourself at a neutral space, not real happy, but not spiraling out either, just I'm right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easier place to move from.
Yeah, yeah. Um, we all know you and celebrate you for your work on Living Single.
Thank you.
We celebrate that. After Living Single, you go through this period, uh, and then you emerge. Music has always been the thing for you.
Absolutely.
Music has been the thing for you, and it is the thing that kind of brought you back into our consciousness. Yeah, you're doing other film and TV stuff, but man, hearing you sing, I said, there he is.
Mm.
There he is. Hearing you scat. Oh, I'm like, there he is. Shakespeare said, if music be the food of love, play on.
Right.
Give me excess of it, right?
Absolutely.
Talk about this journey in music. You know, you come through this valley. How was music part of that process, part of that kind of rigor that you put yourself on?
Well, it was something that I allowed to be taken away from me. So it was something that I regained during that time period.
Yeah.
I was in the process of recording an album with this band. And long story short, the band leader stole my masters and said he didn't have them. And so I spent all this money and I had nothing to show for it. And that kind of really stopped me. It stopped me from singing for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized the thing that helped me was music. The thing that helped me process emotions was singing and performing, live performing, because it's different to uh, be on stage than it is to be in a studio.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a different, it's just different. It doesn't feel as constrained. It feels freer to me. And being in that space allowed me to come back,
I
basically.
saw it. I saw it, TC. You lit up. You lit up. Every time I would see you, either in video, there were a few moments I saw you live. Uh, yep. And I didn't have the gumption or the nerve, or I didn't want to be that person, you know.
Oh
Oh,
man,
hey, brother,
that ain't,
you remember me?
they do it. Y'all do it all the time. It's okay. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. But I believe you. If you say that's what happened, okay.
Yeah. No, it was enough for me though, because again, we all come through those. We all sit high on the mountain and we all have our time in the valley and we all wonder how the hell do we make it through this, right? And then you see people emerge who you know have been through it. You watched them. If it was anybody else, you would have taken anybody else out. But you are singing and you are living on that stage. It is a wonder to see it.
Well, thank you.
It really is, TC. Um, and my mind always flashes back to that entrance on those stairs. And I go, I remember watching that brother every night going, I want to be like him. I want to do what he's doing. I want to emerge like he emerged. Um, your life is a blueprint, TC. Your life is a blueprint, and it's a worthy blueprint. Um, and I know you're in the cool spot now. You know you're doing some cool stuff, but I want to take a moment to tell you how valuable you are. I want to take a moment to say for all the hell you went through, thank you for not throwing in the towel. And even in the dark moments, being a light for those of us who are coming in back of you, even in the dark moments.
Thank you, brother. I receive that. That's another thing I'm learning to do is be okay with people saying wonderful things like that. So
Well, it's
thank
true. It's true, and and I'm grateful to have a space to say it and to allow other people to hear it and to see it. But you are, man. Your life, your journey has been a blueprint and a worthy blueprint, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful for it. So if you don't hear it any other time today, let this
you.
be the day. Let this be the week uh, that you hear how worthy and how necessary your life is and your journey has been. Even though it might have been painful, we all stand on the shoulders of your experience. and we learn from you and with you uh, in these moments. I
Thank
think
you.
that's the thing. Yeah, I think that's the thing too that I love about you and what makes this moment again so incredible is because it's openly Black. I love that shirt, but you've always been that dude. You've always been that dude. Um, talk to me, talk to us about your passion, your vision for Black men.
Um, it's a real just for my people in general.
Yeah,
Um, and I didn't really get this about me until a friend of mine said it, uh, who I had been doing theater with in Chicago and all of that. And, when the whole thing came out about how living single ended for me, he called me, said, well, yeah, I think, doesn't surprise me. So what do you mean? He's like, oh, you've always been that. You've always been the person that has been, no, you don't, this is not good for us. No, we need to fight for this. No, we need to call equity on this. No, we need, and I didn't really think about it like that. But it is about seeing how we're done in this country, seeing how we're treated, especially Black men and Black women, Black people, period. And to watch us take it and not say anything. And that just became real unacceptable to me early on in my life. It's like, no, I'm gonna say what I need to say. I've lost a lot of jobs for it. I've been fired, you know. But I hold true to who I am as a Black man. I love my people. I love my brothers. I love my sisters. And I want what I do to be a positive reflection on who we are. And that was the whole point of Kyle, for him to be something that we hadn't seen,
yeah,
for him to
yeah,
be kind of strong, that kind of loving on these sisters, with his best buddy got, he's working on African things. He's in touch with HBCUs and the Black, the whole thing that we have to do right now. We're so busy looking at everybody else and mad that they're not doing what they're doing. But what are we doing? We have everything we need. We have the money, we have the talent, we have the education, and we're still asking somebody else to do it. There's something wrong with that.
yeah,
Our goal with my craft is to at least always work toward doing something that's going to be a positive push for my community. That's going to lead them somewhere that's going to make them feel better, or that's going to make them strive to want to be better. That's my goal as an artist, and to give them a place where they can get some rest, because it's hard out here. So with my music, I want you to be able to turn it on and sit back and listen and feel good after you listen to the album. Not just a single, but feel good after you listen to the album. It's a journey, like it used to be.
yeah,
It
yeah,
used to be. So
yeah,
I think that if we as Black men take more responsibility for our community, think about taking better care of the people in our community, of our women especially. And it doesn't matter whether you're straight, gay, bi, it don't matter. It really don't matter. Our sisters, that's our job.
yeah,
That's our job, is to take care of our sisters, to take care of the children in our community, to make sure they're educated and safe.
yeah.
That's part of the responsibility that I think sometimes we forget.
Sure. Yeah, we live in a me, my, I moment, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and we very rarely, if ever, hear about we, our, us, unless it's to the benefit of the I. That's the tricky
If
part.
we do this, then I can get this.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then later for you. But I love that commitment, TC, to the community. I am because you are, and you are because I am.
It's no, it's not lost on me that that character really does resonate with my people. It did what I wanted him to do.
You sure did.
So now how do I hold up his legacy as the actor who helped create that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
make sure that what I do, because it stands on what that is.
Yeah.
It's not a bad place to stand. I like him. He's funny.
It's why I almost, and I got talked out of it, but I started wearing scarves when I would watch the show. You know, yeah. I had hats, brother. I did the show Crowns, and
Uh-huh.
I would always, every production I was in, or if I directed it, we always had milliners, and I was like, yeah, Kyle could rock a hat, boy. I'm telling you, my a lot of my fashion sense was built because we didn't get to see brothers looking good like that.
Right. Well, we had entered the era of the baggy, the jeans,
Yeah,
tennis shoes going to formal events and
yeah,
really fitting. And so I think he kind of walked the line in the middle of that because he's
beautifully.
that, but then he brought in these African brothers fashions too. And,
Yes.
the jewelry, there was a really great, still is, her name is Aclea, and she has a shop in Los Angeles. And I think it's on Cahuenga. And all the jewelry that I had, 90% of it came from her shop.
Wow.
And she would go over to the continent and bring back beads and pieces and make these things handmade and call me and say, I think I got something you're gonna like. Or she come to the set and the costume designer would, I said, can we get that one? Can we?
Yeah. You set a trend. You definitely set a trend, and I was one to follow it. So I know for sure. I know for sure. Yeah, that's really powerful. TC, who do you look up to?
Oh, wow.
Who are the North Stars for you? Especially when you were in that valley moment.
Um, I really thought about my mom a lot during that time period. Partly because I had lost her not um, long before everything kind of tanked, but um, it was her voice I kept hearing saying, "It's going to be okay. Just take your time. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right." And I look at how she sacrificed to make sure that I saw something different. How my dad sacrificed, in the way he did for his families. Um, so I didn't think I couldn't give up. And then to be real transparent, I didn't really want to do nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought about going to these different places and working, and like, you don't want to do that. You are not going to be happy doing that. And so the only option was to continue to fight to do the thing that I love to do. That was the only option for me. And to
So
really may not be as, I'm that piece of fame that I got with living single, that may be it. That doesn't mean I can't still continue to do the thing that I love to do. I
yeah,
mean, that again, but I can still do what I'm doing, and
yeah,
I can make a living. So we good.
yeah. That's a perfect leader, TC. What are you doing? Tell us what you're doing.
Was just in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. We're doing a new album. So I was recording that with my band in Chicago, great group of musicians. We've got several projects that we're shopping right now. I'm not going to tell you about those, but there is
Okay.
one, Uncle G Daddy's Kitchen. Uncle G Daddy's Kitchen is a late night talk show with food.
Okay.
And along the likes of Johnny Carson and a show called Playboy After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
So Johnny Carson, like he had his skits, and even what's the guy that's on now? Jimmy Fallon. Excuse me, he has his skits. They do different things. So we do recorded skits. We have live musicians, and we have guests that we talk to about what they're doing, and we cook. There's
Wow.
always a recipe that is going to be quick and easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to get people to stop doing prepared food, get out of churches and
Yeah.
Lay and all these places where none of this food is really real.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many chemicals and things in it, and that's what's getting us sick. So can we get back to cooking our own food? And the complaint I hear is that it takes too long. So my goal is to show people that within the same amount of time you can go and get food, or you can order food and have it delivered, you can cook a meal.
Yeah.
You can cook a meal. And it
Nice.
can be healthy and nutritious for you, and it'll be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
to do so, and we have a live audience, and we have a bartender. So it really is like a party. People are eating. There's always a buffet. So whatever we make is going to be on the buffet. So people
Love
get to
that.
experience that. There's a bartender, and they get to really hear conversations. And eventually we'll start getting questions from the audience too. But we got a couple of streaming services that are interested in that.
Okay.
Look forward to doing that. I think that'll be the thing that can, where I can utilize a lot of the things that I'm able to do. And I think it'll be really good push for our community, because we don't really have a late night show that speaks to us. Black and
Yeah.
brown don't really have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that people, we have people on that are businessmen and teachers and, policymakers, not only actors and singers and that of that ilk, sports people. We want to have people that can really speak to our community and give us some information so we can start moving forward.
Nice. Wow. That's exciting. That sounds really fun. And we get to hear you sing and do all the things, right?
Yep.
Are
And
you doing those sketches too?
Yep. Yes, sir. I've been playing several different characters.
Nice.
So it's a lot of fun too, because it's all tongue in cheek. It's like, it's humorous, but if you really pay attention, you understand that we're giving knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Edutainment, as we call it.
Okay. I love that. Edutainment. Edutainment. That's so great. That's so great. I always ask our guests at the end of our time two questions. What do you know now that you didn't know then? And then what is your hope? What is your hope for us as a community, as artists, as brothers, as people of color? What is your hope for us? So what do you know now that you didn't know then? And what is your hope for us?
So what I know now is that I am enough. I'm enough.
Yeah.
You have to be nothing extra. You don't have to be, what you are is enough. It's more than enough, actually. And my hope for us is that we find a way to take better care of us. We treat us like they treat us in our businesses and the way we talk about each other. I listen to these Black men tearing up Kamala Harris unnecessarily so. It's like, what good is that doing you? What is that doing for you? It's a time for us right now that's a pivotal moment for us. And you sitting here backbiting over some dumb stuff. So I'm hoping that eventually we'll stop being stuck on stupid.
Yeah.
And really work to help us, help our community, help take our energies, our resources, our money, our talent, all of that stuff, and put it back into our community and back into us. And then we'll move forward. That's why we're not where we need to be right now. There are systemic things that are put in place. We get that. But there's so much that we could do that we're not doing. And so I go, well, they're not going to do it until they see us do it.
Yeah.
So I want us to do better by us. That's my hope, is that young people learn to do better by us.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. That's good. That's really good. This has been so great. This has been so great. Time goes by when you're enjoying the company.
Man, I can't believe you can't hear that. That's hilarious.
We can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Like, okay, so that makes me know, okay, I can be out here and he could be clowning like he's clowning, and I can
Yeah,
still do mine.
you
Okay.
can still do your thing. We are so grateful to you for this time. I'm so grateful to you for your life, for your work.
Thank you.
Um, it was not in vain, brother. It was not in vain. So thank you so much. Hey, everybody. That's it. That's our brother TC Carson. This is Black Broadway Men in our Spotlight series. We hope you enjoyed this. Please follow us, blackbroadwaymen.org. Hit us on our website, and you'll see all of our social media handle, and you'll get all the information concerning Black Broadway Men and our Spotlight series. I also want to give TC a moment to tell us, where can we find you? How can we follow you? Tell us
Oh,
all of those things.
so everything is official TC Carson. So the website, the Instagram, I think there's a Facebook page. I don't really go on Facebook, and I don't support Elon. So if you see me on X, one of my people did it. I didn't do that.
We'll follow you on IG. We'll get you on IG.
IG is official TC Carson.
That's so good. Listen, you all, follow him. Check out his music. Check out these shows when they're coming up. I promise you it is a treat. I promise you it is a treat. You will not be disappointed. TC, once again, we thank you so very much for this time. We thank you for your life. Thank you for being an inspiration. You are loved. You are enough. Thank you,
brother. I feel it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody else, hit us up at blackbroadwaymen.org. And until next time, keep growing.
Blackbroadwaymen.org, blackbroadwaymen.org, blackbroadwaymen.org.
That's it. TC Hangout. You guys catch us on the next go round. Peace.